Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. And if you want to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today, we are doing chapter 59 of The Captain's Heart. Gralgiran basked in the feel of his heart pressed against him, the smell of his sweat and the sex they had. He pressed his nose against Jeremy's neck and breathed it in. That tickles, he mumbled. Gralgiran licked the skin and Jeremy shuddered. Good morning, the mumbling was clearer. He chuckled. It's early force shift. A groan. I am never going to get used to that. If I'm going to get up after a night's sleep, it's morning. We can alter our work shift if it's going to be easier on you. Another groan. No, I just have to stop setting morning as when I get up. I'm on a ship. It's not like the sun controls my life. He turned. Gralgiran smiled. Good morning. He kissed his heart as he opened his mouth. A hand on his ass, a pull, and he was under him, grinding as they kissed. Don't you have a ship, Captain? Jeremy asked, still grinding. I remember someone saying he needed to stay on the bridge until the ship's moving. Someone told me to call in sick. You can do that? He chuckled. I contacted the bridge and brought us to a standby state until we're ready to activate the reactor. Oh, it's not going to be ready for hours still. Lots of work to do. Is that so? Jeremy grinned. Let me show you. I still feel strange, Gralgiran said with a purr. Jeremy sprawled on his back. The sound that responded was indistinct, but definitely approval. Fuck, the word trailed out of Jeremy's grinning mouth, as Gralgiran kept from putting more weight onto him, as more than his cock was going soft after this. I can so get used to this. Hopefully you aren't exhausted this time. Jeremy laughed. What time is it? A glance gave him the answer. 2 hours into first shift. So, good morning. He licked his heart's neck. Jeremy removed his leg from around his waist. I don't want to be crass, growled, but I need to go use the toilet. He rolled off and helped Jeremy to the edge. Then, without him at his attraction, he realized he too had to take care of something. He had the shower going when Jeremy exited his toilet. He looked sheepish. I don't know just how hard I was supposed to clean up afterward. I don't want to offend you like last time. His ears burned. He understood and appreciated why Jeremy made this statement, but this was something he and every Kelsirian learned about without being told as part of learning to no longer depend on his parent for it. You just don't want to carry the smell with you. You were fine before, so you don't need to do anything different. And last time, his ears burned as remember what he'd seen and smelled. You were doing it in the open. Jeremy had a hand on his chest. It won't happen again. Gralgiran smiled, putting the event out of his mind. I'm not worried. He pulled Jeremy into the shower. Now we should wash. I don't think, Gralgiran said, panting against the wall, Jeremy still in him, but leaning onto him, that this is how washing is done. But it's more fun, he laughed. Jeremy chuckled. And we're right here to wash when we're done. He didn't miss the emphasis. We do have to wash. The ship can't remain unpowered. We're putting the civilians at risk. I guess there's after the shift is done. He laughed again and winced as Jeremy pulled out. The crown of the head was definitely different. You realize this can't be something we do every day. We can. Jeremy lathered his fur. We just have to plan it better. Are all Earthers this insatiable? No idea, remember? And while I hope I always feel this way, I'm pretty sure this is the I'm discovering something new stage of sex. You can look forward to me toning it down at some point. Curran pulled Jeremy into him and lathered his skin by rubbing against him. Not too soon, I hope. This is your fault, Jeremy exclaimed, holding onto Gralgiran's neck, leg around his waist. He grinned. Didn't care whose fault it was. He'd enjoyed this as much as the previous times. Jeremy kissed him. He reluctantly lowered his heart to the floor, and Jeremy stepped away. We're washing separately, safer that way. The idea of stocking him within the confine of the shower had some appeal. Are all Kelsirians insatiable? Jeremy asked. I'm in that discovering something new phase of sex. I can't be that new. You've been able to have sex your entire life. This is literally just the start of my second day. I've never had someone like you. And you're going to have me again, but you said something about endangering the civilians. I can't start the reactor if you keep pinning me to the wall. Gralgiran made the sigh heavy. Duty can be a harsh taskmaster. We can celebrate when we come back. Or we can start now. Duty, Gral. You're the captain. Remember, you set example for your ship, for your crew. All right, later then. He motioned for Jeremy, who hesitatingly approached. Then he watched him. Gralgiran watched as Jeremy looked more at the people in the eatery than his selection. They both swiped their bracelet and headed for a table. Did everyone do something, or was I just not paying attention before? What do you mean? I don't know. But don't they look more alluring to you? He scanned the room. There are attractive males, yes. Are you seeing someone interesting? No, not like that, Jeremy exclaimed. Gralgiran tilted an ear. I'm yours. You don't have to worry. I'm not. Two words had a reassuring effect, almost as much out of proportion as the worry in the exclamation. He put that aside for the time being in favor of enjoying eating with his heart. Engineering is contacting you, the female at Com informed him. I'm going to have to name people. Like, I've named a few of them, and I'm going to have to literally set up the schedule roster so that I know who's where when, because I default to that a lot. But the thing is, Gralgiran knows everyone on the bridge. The female at Com informed him, and he nodded. Jeremy appeared on the screen. The reactor is powered and has been tested, Captain. At this point, I'm confident that short of pushing it beyond its capabilities, we don't have to worry about it blowing up. He tried to parse what was warning and what was Jeremy's way of speaking. The worried look exchanged by the bridge personnel reminded him they all understood Earther. Are its capabilities reduced compared to before the repairs? No, test came back 100 across the board, and there were no worries. Thank you, engineer. Pilot, bring propulsion online. Set course for Satura Station. Yes, Captain, Tom replied. Propulsion online. Setting acceleration at 10%. Sensor, anything out of the ordinary? No, Captain. Gralgiran smiled. Things were back as they should be. The reports ultimately said the same thing. The Thunderiled Wing and Arhithon Pride had simply stopped responding as they traveled. The first from Alcaster to Station 386 within Reosef territories, and the second from Benetiken Barrogiron at the border between Kelsirian and Kersosteran's territory to Kelsir. The name of the Shimbarian ship was a set of symbols he didn't have the knowledge of. They'd originated from Shimbar and were destined for Kelsir. Their schedule didn't put them close, as relative as the word was within the vastness of space, as at the same time, but they had crossed the same section of space. He'd sent queries to ships of the line whose path took them relatively close, as well as to the leadership for any scan from military vessels they had in the region. Nothing he'd received indicated pirates were hiding there, or that a battle had taken place, or that ships had had an emergency. He extrapolated the ship's course in case they'd suffered reactor failure, and he was waiting on the ships he contacted along those to send him their reports. He stretched mid-shift. He felt like he should be home. Working second shift wasn't what he was used to. Fortunately, he'd get himself back on fourth shift work. Soon enough. Couldn't do anything for the missing ships until he had more information, and administrative work could wait for fourth shift. With them heading to a station, it was something he should see to, and it was an opportunity to get to know Quirigral better. The ambassador opened the door wearing his vest of office. Am I disturbing you? Gralgiran raised the brush. I was hoping I could brush your fur while we talked. We're going to be at Satura Station in 4 days. The male motioned for him to enter. I was on a call with the Federation ambassadorial office. The Earthers aren't happy about the report I filed. The door closed. He took off his vest. How thorough do you intend to be? Unfortunately, I have to return to the bridge. The situation with the reactor moved my work around. This will only be while we talk. That's too bad, Gralgiran. He sat on a backless seat. Gralgiran moved behind. You know what? Move behind. I don't really... Yeah. Are you going to seek a different ship to take you to Center Point? He gently moved the brush through the fur, stopping each time he encountered a knot and to tease them undone with his claws. Is Satura a decent transportation hub? Gralgiran chuckled. Not really. But there's always ships heading towards one of the federal station. The Federate... Actually... Okay. Of the administrative. There's always ships heading towards one of the administrative stations. Unless you have objection, I'd like to stay on the Bane. The male reached back and squeezed Gralgiran's leg. I'm enjoying the people I'm meeting here. I don't know when we'll be at a Federation station after this. Or even make port. The stop is to give everyone a chance to leave the ship, since we weren't able to at the Earther station. That's all right. I'm not needed for anything that can't be dealt with through comm, and until the Earther situation is resolved, I won't be assigned to a different post. He looked over his shoulder and smiled. And if it comes to it, I can use my ambassadorial authority to commandeer the ship to take me where I'm needed. Suspect the captain of this one will be more inclined to let that happen than on some other ship. As a good Kelsirian, of course, I do what a duly appointed ambassador required of me. Quirigral chuckled. I wish you had more time. Since you're staying... There will be more opportunities. More opportunities to spend time together. He hesitated, then leaned forward to rub muzzle against the side of the ambassador's head. The male turned, and they rubbed muzzle. Yeah. It's both of them there, but I don't really have a way. Make up your mind. Don't really have a way to... Actually, it's a little different, but to nuzzle against the side of the ambassador's head. The male turned, and they rubbed muzzles. Alrighty. And this brings an end to chapter 59. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter will be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read this story, it is up on Ream Story. And if you want to listen to this live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch and YouTube. The links are in the notes. And with that, I shall wish you a good day.